Thanks. Let's start it. Great. Monday Circle. Great to be back. Um, the magnitude of what's about to happen here, it's already happening, but the acceleration of what's happening, guys, is on par. I'm going to share this with you. This is on par with the NASDAQ.com run. 1995, 1996, 1997. Look at your charts. That's what's going on. It's probably an exponential the completion longer term of an exponential move that began in off the lows in 2010. So, look at what's going on currently for today. Again, we're already above 25,000. That's not a number. It's just an afterthought at this point. The number's 26.5 and we're 25.1, 25.2 now. And it's going to get probably more aggressive, which is amazing because in the old times, every time we were in beginning of October, we're looking for a drop. We're looking for a 10, 20% correction, something. Now you're looking for like 10% up from here into January minimum from current levels. So your all-time highs were, we were 25,235 in the pre-market. And just we'll continue to do this. I have to. I think what we do in these sessions, guys, for you is as we go forward, to capitalize on what is unfolding, which is just a massive super cycle technology wave, where I think you're going to have to start looking at every one of these companies. If they're not $1 trillion, they're going there. And if they're $1 trillion, they're probably going to follow what NVIDIA does up to 5 trillion. That's really what we're looking at and across the board. Let me for right now, I'll come back to this 5-minute setup in a second. And I'll talk about the diamond indicator, what's happening there. We had a little delay, no biggie. My partner he was out last week. We will get it done. But I want to start with AMD and just, here's Oracle again, Google. These kind of moves they're just amazing. I mean, they're just historic. That's a historic breakout, all-time high there. But the bigger part of it with AMD is, guys, we know the patterns repeated on the weekly. I mean, that was 79 at the low. You're now 210 6 months later. But a larger takeaway doesn't matter if you're in AMD or not, is that this thing continues. The minimum cycle move 140, it's a 141, bat pattern, extend 141, bat pattern, which almost is a type 2, 141. So that still points to 275, 280 from 208. Just so we're really clear on where this is going, and that even though it's an insane move for a single day in a major market cap like this, it's got a lot more. It kind of triggers the follow through. And AMD is now 338 billion. Friday it was 200 and 50 billion. And it's now kind of this is acceleration character. That's really what I'm getting to. So everything we've talked about, and not only just this year but last year, we've really stepping into it. We're really stepping into this acceleration phase where the big the 1618 minimum targets, if we're really gonna blast, we're gonna see lots of these. And they're gonna continue to go higher to their minimum targets, if not extreme moves. So that's where we're at. That's, you guys know I've been saying NASDAQ 26.5 forever. I think something I've been talking about this summer a lot, which is the SOX, and just that it's going to lead. And when we look at the monthly here, that's exactly what it's doing. And this should continue to be the theme. All right. If you guys can get your brain around the fact that we're going to do a blow off move, which I think is what we're looking at, then the whole idea of this failed pattern leading to minimum 2618 possibilities is not crazy. And you look at, how this is projected out in the next 18 months. That's how we get NASDAQ to even much higher levels, which I'll finish up with. But you're here, guys, and I'll go to the NASDAQ and do the parallel comparison. But, this is just another one, if not an even more substantial breakout than I would say what occurred. You go back to 16, really go back to 2016, and even that overextended move. That's how big this is. This is essentially the kind of, it's practically exponential, I would say. Maybe not totally where you go 10x, but that's what's going on in front of you. So we're up here 6,800 now on the SOX. Remember, we were down at 5,000, and that was May. So that's just ride it, because it's now. It's not even 6 months from now. By 6 months from now, we will probably have done a bulk of the acceleration and then already start to put in some early signals. But looking at the monthly readings here, monthly HSI just continues to expand until that inflects. You're not only up, you're up bar over bar. You go back here and just we're here, guys, on the comparison. If it's like 2020 or 2016, something like that, we're like here and doing this extended 8-10 more month follow through before any kind of correction or even getting an HSI or dot. So please understand that this is the nature of the next several months, and it will continue. So that leads me to look at things like SMCI, that this is a for real turnaround, and going to $100 is not a biggie. Not a biggie at all. And this is how we should be playing it. Trending, absolutely. Did the correction. This is better on a weekly. We know we got patterns here, but guys, this is the path forward. And I don't know if this is crypto or tech or whatever. I mean, this is the kind of chart, kind of trend, kind of retracement that, you've got X, A, B, C, D kind of qualities here. You get above the 50 point, which is 65. It's, 886 and then some. Then who knows? I mean, the way these are popping off. The weekly is this, and this was the thing about the weekly that I think set it off was we did have HSI back in September. That is kind of like this secondary confirmation. So you got to play that up to at least target one again, 57, 60-ish, or you're looking for maybe something even to push harder towards target two. Daily had this dot and the bat pattern return. That was what we had talked about way back in August. 40 was T2, do the return. So taking its time, I think 62 to 71, beyond 72, then you could really do things. But that's something that hasn't moved that I think's got a lot of potential. But I got to say, that things like Broadcom here, I think you just keep buying them, even if they retrace on you. You just every time we get HSI or even a dot, which we got last week, we're 338. So can we come back to 320, 322, and just continue to kind of wait for that? And I think Broadcom goes to like, if they follow Nvidia, Nvidia is going to crack 5 trillion soon. So I think when you get above 5 trillion, it's all possible. I mean, just mind-blowing numbers. And I think it's even if this is a bubble, guys, we're just starting it. I mean, this is how it really begins. And even if it bubbles for a long time, next 18 months, it's going to do mind-blowing things. So we keep looking for that type of stuff. And then we even see things like Baba. I mean, look at this move on Baba now. All right. And this is the other thing we're seeing a lot of. We're seeing these monthly patterns that did nothing for 3 or 4 years absolutely lead to monster type 1, type 2 reactions on monthly charts. And it doesn't matter what the it just doesn't matter, really even what the market, it's more so patterns. So that one, and LAC is just, that was another like death sleeper where you're 887, you're going to 12 minimum or more. And the whole fact so I'm still learning with this dot, but when we have patterns and we have we have like a yellow dot trigger and we have the purple dot, like that's just an extra stamp that tells me, I get the purple dot, we're ready for some kind of acceleration. I would still use the yellow dot as the price trigger, but this is kind of like a stamp. And with the pattern, again, that's the best use. You're going to see dots without patterns, obviously, but this is going to be the best application for it. I will have this probably this week. Okay. The dot or the diamond. We talked a lot about it last Monday. And we're seeing it really in big patterns. I mean, we saw it in Intel on, well, there was that weekly, or no, yeah, it was on the weekly on Intel. Yeah, down here, initial tests. Now, Intel. I think Intel, guys, we're here well above target one. Probably another monthly chart's even better. 4040 is the shark to 50 off of this, and then we'll see. Look, if things get crazy, Intel's a really good candidate to do something unexpected. I'm still long. I'm gonna hold these. I mean, look at KLAC, guys. This went nuts, and we're already at beyond 1618 upended objectives 1902s, and that was this weekly. Remember at 600, that now that's doubled since May. There was a weekly dot. I mean, KLAC I gotta say ASML. There was a shark on KLAC. Okay, this is just mind blowing. Now you have a crab pattern, a pause at a minimum. Yeah, I mean we're gonna have to wait for something. This has just been I mean, you doubled, you doubled, you doubled in 5 months. But it's spreading out. ASML is the other one, which we were down there at like 700. Now it's 1,000. But these all are going to become, yeah, look at that. Jeez. 676, 600, now 1050. So I'm not saying chase those, but again, this is what's happening. Something like Broadcom is in a better situation than ASML now for in terms of a retracement entry. And I would, just continue to add. So other things with like we got to talk really quick. Bitcoin. Let me jump around for a second because I know Bitcoin is really the story of the weekend, and now we're 125. And this 2401 was it. Now I did want to say this 4 hour Gartley that I posted still kind of trying to bust through the hop. So here's the way to think about it. We are already in a 30 bar count. Looks like we're going to fail it. And we're in October. So there you go. 30 bars is tomorrow. So if you give that till tomorrow and we get past tomorrow afternoon and we find ourselves 126, 127, then it's completely on. I think it's already on in terms of the move to 160, 155, 160. But with everything else going on, guys, I'm more inclined to say that uh, I really I'm gonna just trust the 3618. And if we get something that comes shy of that, so be it. And I think we'd have enough time to really gauge that if that does happen. But it's I'm I'm seeing what's happening is haven't I really haven't seen it since the 90s. This kind of like mania. This is a mania going on. Starting. It's just starting. I mean the crypto thing, yes. It's had a cycle or two, but this all of this coming together, I think it's going to be bigger than last cycle or at least be equivalent. And equivalent is 3618 and that's 210. And I don't and I'm going to say this also. When it gets to 210, do you sell? Or do we just kind of ride through it? Because it's the whole Bitcoin thing and the Bitcoin prophecy. I think it is going to you're going to see it. And if that's a million a coin, that's a million a coin. And if that's a million a coin, uh, in 5 years, it's still a 10x from current levels. And I know people are calling for a million a coin literally by next year. I don't know, but that's something to think about. And the way that tech is blowing up, a lot of these others are blowing up. I mean, exploding. The whole chip thing, the AMD today, guys. This is you haven't I haven't seen it in 30 years, maybe 25, because the tail end. Because the tail end in '99, that was like my first real, taste of a run, and came out did all right, especially for my first, you know, real bull market. Mid 90s. Well, this has got all the same thing. So where we are at Bitcoin 125, I don't in the long run doesn't matter. Where would you buy it again? Like I don't know if we're like I said, wait till tomorrow, but I don't think you're gonna get a target one. If we just kind of keep bypassing, the best hope would be a target one, minimum 115.8, and then explode. But we're already doing the bypass. You can see it. So watch for that, and then the rest of crypto should start popping off like we did last year. It gets going, and then November hits, and it has its run. But this is where it starts. Yeah, I think it's already started, but I mean, for us and bust these patterns up here, these hop levels, 255, 328, there's nothing else. I I don't know. I don't even think it matters. I think if you could think of it this way, based on its historic performance, what what these guys have been able to do so far, where it's at. If I told you any stock or anything where you could buy it for $100 and then by the end of the decade, 2030, it'd be worth 1,000, then what would you do? But you just got to hold through the 4 years, 5 years. I think that's the Bitcoin proposition. You could trade it if you want, but I think you're at a point where it just, if this whole thing does go to a million, then it does the other numbers too, what they're saying longer term. So then you're looking at this as like, okay, if this is like a more of a lottery ticket play, which some people they got a lot of lottery tickets. That's what's at stake here, guys. Where you're getting to level, where you're busting past levels that you might never see again. Like maybe we'll someday go back under 100K, but I don't. That's becoming less likely the more you go forward. So this is all. It's not just a lot of hype. You've got more going on now this year than last year. So we know what happened last year. Let's just get ready to continue and basically heads down till what I think is about a 6 week run that already started. Okay. A couple of new things that I want to show you guys. First of all, the quantum stocks that I talked about where they've just done amazing things like Rigetti. This is another just kind of throwing the towel type thing of saying this is I forget where it was when we talked about it even back in August at 15. Now that it's 40, this did a little pause at a major 1618 at 33, gave you a counter daily HSI at 29, now 40. I'm just looking for at this point a 2618, and that's to 50, 48, 50 to $50 minimum. And we've seen the other ones, the other quantum IONQ. Yeah, and look what IONQ did on a 4 hour chart. Just put in, and we're almost all we're all-time highs right back. You know, that's 61. That was 75. Now all-time highs, and this is kind of mind-blowing stuff. Here's IONQ 2618. It's like 115, 110. It's I mean that's where that goes. And that probably goes by the end of the year. So again, 5 minute charts are your friend. I'm looking at a lot of this stuff. The other ones like qubits, And QUBT, this is the other one. I'm long this now. Look at that. You're already at a 2618 on qubits. So then what about a couple of like, here's a penny play, low floater, this QNCFF. I've been looking for this, it came across a quantum list, quantum emotion. It just like I want a FOMO and just buy 10,000 shares and just say whatever, but I'm gonna have to wait for something. I caught this late. Just caught this like on looking for quantum stocks like a week ago. We were like 105 or something. Now we're 120, 82 cents. That's a great spot. That's an even better spot to capture some of these than all the way down here because you have momentum. Same like back here. Big first thrust. You guys know, come all the way back and bang, bang. QNCCF, quantum emotion. You heard it here first. And then the other one is QSI, quantum SI. Look at the pattern down here at 96. That was back in August. I know I'd mentioned this before. I think this has some possibilities to bust out of this kind of longer base down here at QSI. Super low floaters, but that's all right. Okay, it's full on because they are running, they're moving, and I think they're valid. Um, couple others, where did the other? Oh, Upstart. I mentioned this last week. This is a go. Upstart right here, holdings. We're up today. We got that was what, Thursday? Yeah. You're 53.64. We're still under the 886 at 55.66, but I would start looking at this. And that's a type 1 shark to 50 minimum, possibly more. Yeah. I mean, HSI is above the 50 now as of today. That's a good start. And then, guys, Tesla's going to look. Where's Tesla going? It's going above 500 now. Why? Well, we got the bat. Why would I just not go with the bat pattern? Well, it's a reaction. Okay. I'm still looking at a minimum XA retest. That if this thing was going to really get thrown down, we'd be on our way to T1 already. That's all reaction. So watch this and then watch the 4-hour because this is kind of a bypass move. And we know that there's larger targets up there. The weekly targets. I just think this has got 500 written all over it. And so there you go. You're 30 bars now. So you're 30 bars on the 4-hour chart. I expect this, where you come up to this weekly, and that's really the situation. A 2-week, 3-week kind of pause. That's it. But no confirmation here. And look, until we can come out there and come out of amplified there, you still go higher. And I think it's 488 and then it's 536 or 525. I don't think it's 444 before this goes down in any regard. Your kind of final stages for this type 2, and without confirmation yet, and there's no confirmation, just wait for it to develop. How many of these have we seen where they go all the way back up and bypass it? So I'm going to treat the minimums here of 88 and then 536. We're here. I'm looking for the breakout pretty much now. Get back to 70, above 70, and get to 88 ish. If you know if Tesla's going to do more and it's going to fail this, we're probably going to see it soon do some kind of crazy move. This is it. I mean, it's already, it's the way to be looking and thinking about Tesla is that we're still on the lower end of this long term. Maybe it's even better to do the monthly channel. And it's, you know, this is really about like a monthly, it's like a monthly kind of channel that's developing like that. That's your monthly channel, guys. And I really still say that Tesla said this in the beginning of the year is en route to, well, first 1618, which is their 600, 650. And then I think 2618 is just be conservative. And that's conservative where, Tesla's trading 900, essentially a double in 2 years is not a crazy thing to say. And you're on the verge of breaking out of all of this. So, it's that big. I think every opportunity you get back on like an hourly chart, and check out hourly here for Tesla, RTH printing oversold dots and diamonds. Go back and test this area. I mean, like literally this week we'll be trading 465, 470. Okay. All right. What else? The magnitude of this is just awesome. It's absolutely awesome. So, and there's so many more of these that, again, I think what my objective will be to kind of highlight a big cap and a small cap list and just stay with those. I mean, that would be like Google, Tesla, Oracle, Broadcom, Nvidia, uh, the quantum stocks on a lower end, like, qubits, which is D-Wave, uh, some of these other spec plays. And then I didn't even talk about things like SoundHound, like these AI type plays are doing the same kind of thing. I mean, this one, SoundHound, we talked about this way back in, what was that, June? Daily here, and then even more recently, the return move to 19. This is certainly a type 2 on the bat, but and probably we have a little pause or reaction, but even if we had a larger retracement, I still say this, if we get above these levels, then going to challenge all-time highs at like 24, not a problem. So that, and then BBAI was another one we talked about. Okay. And these remind me of things like, well, the miners, guys. Clean Spark, I think, is something where just absolutely amazing since that low. Now 17. But watch it, watch it, because we have a little reaction or pause, and then we get above the hop. There's nothing here, and this could be the time where these plays accelerate. Here's Bitmine. I think we have to start really, addressing the fact that this now, 1, 2, 3 dots, and we go all 886 to like 140, guys. Today we produced a dot, so look at that open trigger, 59.58. Right here at 60. Go ahead. This stuff I think is just so on the edge of popping off. What's up, Shim? What is Y cubic? I'll look at it, but Y cubic, is there something going on there? I mean, you had that, I guess, because you had that big move in August, and now you're back down for the two. Probably. I mean, there's a dot, whatever. I would be more inclined to be something like Bitminer or Bitmine immersion with a sloping uptrend like that than something like that. Here's another spec play. This is Bonsai. This is this thing is I just came across this. A good tech guy I started listening to started to talk about this. This is another one. Perfect BNZI, guys, 255. I have not longed it yet. And literally, today's day one, but that's a great low floater. And this could be something where, yeah, 14.7. Yeah, they literally just came across this. Pretty interesting. What was the other one? I had one other one. No. Clean Spark, great. MicroStrategy, ready to go to 500, by the way. Where are you? 360. Guys, this is MicroStrategy, really interesting with this deep crab. And not the easiest one to spot. It's a reaction, so let's see what goes down here. We're getting there, but I if we could get a retest, I don't think so. But if you had a type 2 there, that would be phenomenal. But we're certainly at the low end of that channel where this should be going back up. And I think you got to look at uh, strategy now as something that's just this is a long-term trender that going to 500 or 550. If Bitcoin's going to do what it's going to do, I'm kind of thinking strategy's ready to do something like this. And then we're at a C point, 786, 127, like you're 358, ready to go to 6.25. Crazy. Netflix, yeah, they got canceled for temporarily. Well, even stuff like that. I'll tell you the other one is Adobe. I'll pull that up in a second. Netflix, yeah, I mean, thank God. Go woke a little bit more so we can get an even better pattern. That's what I say. No dot, though. You're oversold on the daily. Oversold across the board, so you're going to need a little more time. Adobe, guys, more time on Netflix, lower. More time and a little lower. Check out Adobe. Anybody coming back to life? Any patterns out there? I mean, I'll do a 3 ideas, long it, fat finger. I mean, right here. Diamond, blue diamonds, pink diamonds, Lucky Charms. 338 confirmation clearly was 333, but that's a major deal for Adobe on a major retracement, mega retracement, where that'll turn around. Yeah, look at this. God. Anybody. That's pretty insane. Are we oversold at least? No. I'd be looking at Adobe. That's one of these that, hey, they could turn around, they could wake up and explode. I guess Netflix, but they're They're so huge that that's an opportunity. Look at Microsoft with the weekly dot. This is blowing my mind. Weekly dot today, this week. And then the daily at 5:05 with the oh, are you kidding me? We're getting these really this happens a lot too. Look at that bullish pattern right on top of the bearish top level. Okay. I don't oh my gosh. I don't think you guys realize. That is insane. All right. You pretty much could just take shots. Again, this is the way to think about it. All right, so all of that and super bullish, whatever. Let's just still wait for the 5 minute dots. 5 minute, can we get oversold? 5 minute there, or 5 minute at a minimum, or some pattern level? I think that's gonna be the only way to prevent FOMO mistakes. Yeah, this is hyper bullish, but 5 minute says deep crab, couple of dots. All right, can we go to type one? Do a T1 and then explode off of that. I really feel like we're probably going to be on a 5 minute time frame for all of these markets from now to the end of the year, or at least for the next 6 weeks. Nice. IBM, yeah, IBM's. I think IBM is completely undervalued. I think IBM, if the way that they're talking about it in terms of how big of a player it is, both AI and quantum developments that they have, and it's a $270 billion market cap, IBM should be $1 trillion company. That it just should. That's it. And IBM's been around forever. Look at that chart. Look at the chart. Let me go even bigger. That's amazing. Okay, there you go. That's IBM, folks. Let's go back 40 years. So I'd say that's, bullish uptrend, but what I'm really getting at is stuff like this quarterly chart here. We break out, we continue. We had an inside quarter last quarter, but that's, common in aggressive uptrends. One bar pause and then break it out. And then, yeah, look at the 4 hour. So I think here you are, type 2 on the deep crab for the summer. For the summer. 290. Above 290, forget about it. IBM prints 301, it might as well print 401. That's what's going on. And I think IBM could be another one of these, sign some kind of huge deal, and then they just explode. They're up like 100 in a day. Do an AMD or 50 points in a day. Yeah, that's why I think we're running out of time for these kind of positions where then they just and I think these are all going a lot higher. I mean, Oracle, after doing that massive move, remember that and the shark pattern. We have a daily HSI, okay, and I still think this goes higher, but there's a lot of these that have yet to blow off where we get in here or here, it just where before the blow off explosion stage. But I think now, Oracle's still something you're looking 280-ish, 300, because even Oracle's going to, Oracle is a $1 trillion company already. It just hasn't done it yet. And that's another 165 billion to the upside. Like a 20% move, 15% move. Yeah. And all of those, yeah, I mean, you keep throwing them out. Chang is saying JD, and I was saying Baba and Baidu as well. Yeah, I mean, look, that one, 33. Guys, I think he's right. And I think these are massive plays. I don't think these just go to target ones, guys. Like all of this stuff that's been stuck for a decade. Look at this. Bang, JD, buy fat finger long. Go ahead. You just buy it right now. Buy 100 shares because it's not going to just 51. I mean, think of it. I want you guys thinking this. This is going to happen. We have massive patterns like JD. 886 is 91, 1618 is 145, 150. That's where this stuff goes. Baba, gone. Baba is a 1618 itself. Get through the monthly, just the way this is acting after that 4-year whatever, and we just continue to explode. There's not going to be a type 2. That's what I'm really getting at. And I think Baba goes to 886 like 285. So for me, I like, all right, where can I get in these longer term call options? January, March. Here's a crab pattern. So, I mean, we already did the big run. We've been talking about this forever, though. And then Baidu's played catch up and still does. Yeah, Baidu's up another 6 today. JD's probably the place to go. And then the other one, I can't believe this, but 10 cent, guys. I forgot about 10 cent. And look, 10 cent, $14. That's a back to back, but look, 10 cent. Go to the monthly on 10 cent. There you go. 10 cent's got a ways to go. That's not it. Sakos Energy. Sorry. Hold on. Where's 10 cent? Although that looks pretty. What the hell was that? Where's 10 cent? What happened to 10 cent? Did that go? I don't know. We did the move. I don't know. Maybe I got that wrong. TME. There it is on the Hong Kong exchange. So I guess it's already done its move. That one? Music entertainment? Don't know. But JD's a good one, for that type. Look at that. There's a monthly. Look at that. All you need is time. Yeah, I think so. What's PCHY? Thank you. OTC. Huh. Oh, look at that. Back to the hop. Fail the hop. No confirmation. Yeah, I mean, look, Baidu, JD, Baba, but Baba's probably the one to continue to jump on. A couple others, guys, that things that I think have yet to explode, like Cisco here, talking about that couple of monthly patterns. But oh man, looking at that, because I think all of these are kind of ripe to do some kind of larger bust off move. Where was it? Daily. Yeah, here it is on Cisco. So Cisco is like this, sideways down here, 67-ish. I mean, this is doing the return move, the reaction dud going higher off of something like that. That's for all the tech plays that are out there, those are probably the tops. I mean, again, the other Google here. And I think we just maybe pound on the stocks of these and continue to ride them. Google is a daily HSI. It's going to have a check back. Today's green, tomorrow's green, you get a dot. And against these larger kind of projections, your 1618 pause, I mean, I think 320, guys. If the dot goes on tomorrow for Google, then the January 300s are probably something to look at and play for that. Well, Google's $3 trillion. Nvidia's 5 trillion, almost 5. And I would go just exclusively off of the dot. You probably, with the check back on Friday, it's probably already starting. Oh, I'm on Starlink, guys. I just haven't shut off the Comcast yet. Hold on. Now I'm on Starlink. That might have been the problem. Comcast, let's look at Comcast. I don't I just this is the difference, okay? Where you have Google and you have Oracle and you have Tesla. I mean, those are moving. Um, there's Comcast, guys. Now you could go back 10 years and still say it's on an uptrend, but for the last 5, it's done nothing and it's headed in the wrong direction. And it went woke. I mean, really, the whole thing of like that they would actually operate, it's like them and Disney, even on a fundamental scale, where they would have those kind of operations or, have the programs that they run and lose 30-40 million dollars a show. Something wrong with that. Elon Musk has a project that's losing $30 million a year and doesn't do anything. He's cutting it. That's why this is not. I mean, there's some bigger patterns here, but it's going nowhere, and it's probably in a larger rollover that it's done. That, and you could go to all of them. That and Disney. Disney should be flying. They should be owning the entertainment space, and they've done nothing. Not really the kind of recovery thing you want to see. I'd buy Google at all-time new highs than this thing. And that's going to make a big difference in the next 18 months. You want stuff moving. Speaking about moving, guys, gold is here. 39.75. 4100's nothing. This is you guys are living through something really amazing. Especially some of you younger guys. I cannot stress this enough. This is the gold prophecy coming true. And I would just be looking at this two ways. Okay, the low, what was that? The low and what was that? '01 was like 1080. Now, if we just throw up, there was our 1618 all-time cycle move. There's two of these, but this is the larger of the two. That was 3,000. 1902 was 3350. And then remember what I said, and I repeat this because I want you guys to learn this, how the character changes. Remember, we talked 3350, and once 3350 busted, it was off to 41 change. 2618. 2618, they're like, yeah, it's like 4220, 4250. I said 4100, I'll say 4250. That's fine. What I'm really looking for though, before anything happens, is the larger. I think what'll come by early next year, by the winter, is like 5,000 by February, 4,800, and then we'll deal. But that's what's happening in gold. GLD ish is like this. There you go. Amazing. 363. Going to what? 425, 410, 3618. And with all of that, then Bitcoin follows. And so Bitcoin goes to 3618. You see that? I mean, this is just, it is, it's that big, guys. It's bigger than last year. So just be ready. It's all happening. And it's happening probably sooner. Where I thought this might take till 2027 into next year, I think we're going to see it the next, 6 months, really. But this thing is exploding now. And that's good for Bitcoin. That's good for, your asset inflation. And what's the problem? Well, most people don't own assets. And that's, I think, longer term. Yeah, most people are going to get screwed, but it's that critical where grab your bags now, hold on to those bags, and ride these bags. And I think gold to 5,000 is an easy target, but then what? Is something larger happening? Because the other one is silver, and I think silver's $50 maybe in a day or two. You're 48.30. I mean, this is going to happen really quickly. This is the futures chart. I think, like all of this, maybe we get an 886 reject, but we can already start projecting 1618 price discoveries. It's already acting like that. Yeah. No, another rate cut incoming, says red, the 21st, and then maybe January, March. Yeah, the rate cut's short, but I think even more so, they've got this thing juiced. They're making their moves, obviously. And you see it in the charts. You see it in the charts. It's not and it's happening, I think, more quickly than people realize. And the magnitude of it is bigger than people are estimating, whether they think it's overbought or not. I'm here to tell you guys it's already overbought, and it's going to get more overbought. So just accept that it's overbought, and you just ride it. We have, I would say, you have rest of this year, you have next year, you probably have even 27, and then maybe tops out in 28. Because think of the other thing about economic activity. I've said this to you guys as well. I don't know what people are talking about, like our jobs are slowing down, home sales are bad, whatever. That's fine. That's fine. Those are all normal corrections. You got the World Cup coming next year, okay, here in the United States, North America. And then 2 years later, you got the Olympics. I mean, this money that's out there is booked to be spent whether the public wants it or not. And it's, all the other news stories are going to continue, but I'm telling you guys, the asset inflation story is the biggest story of all. And they're going all just minimum 1618s. And if they're beyond 1618, they're going to 3618s. That's it. Toyota. Yeah, I haven't looked at that in a long time. Or Ford. Toyota. How about we spell it properly? TMADR. Beautiful chart. That's the kind of chart you want to keep buying. That's the opposite of Comcast. That's an amazing chart. That's a quarterly chart too. And this one, look, minimum 1618 assumption. And I'm not saying it's guaranteed, but this is how you should look at that. Where's the 1618? Even if it doesn't get there, it's going to make an attempt. That's 300. You're currently 200. But that's a great trend uh, channel to ride. And that's what I'm saying with all of these guys. And I want you to think like not just for the next month or two. I mean, we got to be riding this stuff through this year, next year, through massive gains. And then I guess probably the best way is to kind of juice it on retracements with some options, but longer term, kind of buy, build positions and ride so that we catch AMDs and you capture Oracles and you capture, I think AMD, it's amazing. I think Tesla, we look for that 500. You look for Oracle, probably right now. Oracle, you could buy the 300s and just, yeah, right above this 5 minute, go. You get above the 295 level. If it's tomorrow, whatever, you just buy it. And this will go higher because remember, this is the one of the strongest continuation strategies that we get or we've seen where you get the massive blow off move, counter HSI, and then you start the continuation. Yeah, well, and I hear it. I've done the same thing. I just think find the next entry. Find the next entry. Nvidia. Where's the next place to buy it? That's all I care about. The last place to buy it. Look, look how perfect that was. HSI, yellow bar check back 167. Go straight to 191. And if we get another one, like let's say you get the butterfly check retest to 180, 180 is probably the next buy point. And Nvidia goes to 215. I said 195 before, but no. I mean, this is just take the 2025 correction because it's all we have. It's, you're like this 1618 is there at 195. 1902 is like 215, 212. And I certainly think it can go higher than that, but all the numbers still point higher. Yeah. Anybody got FOMO? And then as far as look, as far as crypto and other positions of what should we be looking at, Ethereum, I think this is all a first thrust. It's yellow dot here several days ago, really important. So I wanted to show this. So since the dot, that was like 5 days ago, this reaction is over, which was like 44,000 roughly, 4069. And now I'd be looking for the move 5,600. First get to 47, 89, 48. That's why that BMNR is working. And I would look at that. I mean, that's up. What's that up? It's up 4 now. That's still early. That might be, these might be better ways to play that move in terms of get a real speculative hardcore bounce. Others index, take out the top 10. It'll get there. It's, again, your shark, you had that counter HSI. That's just another continuation. It's coming. You're 325. We'll get a big fat candle that will break 340, 350, and then it goes. Sure. ETH, Bitcoin. Where are we about? We're under 4. All right, good one. On the daily, look, we did have the crab pause. It's over. Counter dot. Diamond there 5 days into that. I'd be looking for the turnaround and this to be back above 4.2 ish. And this all fits within like this chart, weekly, monthly. It's a pretty big deal. Big 886 reset. Did we tag 4.4 yet? No. We need to tag 4.4. Type 1. And then there's the monthly is the chart on this one because you had all these oversold levels. So I think 4.4 still has to get hit. You're overbought, but you haven't done the inflection. 4.4, and then we see. But they're all there. What's up, Vincent? DGen, yeah, I posted that on Friday. Start looking at that. That was, look, like this. Hold on, let me get a better, I think, at the Binance chart. Where is that Binance chart? Hold on. OKX. This is what it was. Yeah. Type 2, Gartley. There you go. We get that dot by the end of today. And that open bar triggers like 286. So it's 2/10 of a cent, just under 3/10 of a cent. You're really close. I mean, that's a type 2 for sure. And then all your confirmation is down here. So yeah, I'm looking at that. And I really, for me, especially with the crypto at scraping these lows, we got to get above the 50 on amplified to really get going. Today's day 1. Tomorrow might even be day 1 on that. But 3/10. Really quick, Binance Coin, guys, is doing just moon style things. And I want to show you the market cap chart, 170 billion. Here you go. This is just an insane chart. 170 billion, there's our 1618. But this kind of acceleration, I think I want people thinking 2618 minimum. And BNB is like 11, 1200 right now. That's roughly equates to like 2000. And this might be the better way to go. Capture the, continuation. 1225 at the moment. And we're exceeding that 1902. So again, 2618, much higher, like 16. 3618, that's a cycle. There's perfect cycle extreme top at like 2100. That's a double from here. Yeah, I probably could go on. There's a ton. I think I want to like stay focused on the bigger cap. I did start a position on SUI, by the way. SUI is like this. So I'm going to see if we can crack up here. I think I bought it last week. Was it Friday or I think it was Wednesday. It was like 4,335, 340 breakout here. Plenty of time on that one. A really small position, not big, but trying to start get into these for the larger move because Zcash it continues to blow my mind. I mean, it was 170 over the weekend, guys. That should be a wake up call. Yeah, absolute wake up call. I mean, just I'm not saying it's a buy here. You're overbought HSI at the moment, but that's the wake up call. And so I was looking at other privacy coins, Dash. Yeah, it did that move, but it's back to back. I mean, it was 20, but Dash, can you come back to 30 and then go, or even like that, and then go? What was the other one? Uh, Monero. Maybe. Yeah, I think this stuff. Where was the? I think this definitely has. Not this one. I think more Dash, but these privacy coins are all trending like this. I would let that come back down. I'm not chasing it with a type 2 and a yellow dot. But pattern looking left, sure. Can we come back to maybe give me the next dot? The rest of them, guys, I don't know. I think that's what I have. Let me take a quick peek at NASDAQ. 5 minute. And we got to T2. We retested the bat. You're up at that resistance. We got back to 25.2. RTH, regular trading hours. Yeah. This yellow dot was a good continuation, but I think this 25, let's watch that 25.2 right now. I'm not going to do anything till after lunch. Let's see what happens here. It probably comes in and goes sideways for a while. If it's a real dud, here you go. Oh, 30-second chart. There you go. What's the last pattern? Bullish type 2. Around 188. Right now 185. Look for something down here. Again, I'm really waiting for dots in this market. The 5 minute is oversold for me, so or overbought, excuse me. So I'd let that come down. Beyond that, the rest of it is just let's get on top of a larger list of things that are going to explode. I would say immediate stuff like Oracle is probably top of the list, or Google. Oracle, this, yeah, and Google. Those were the two. Yeah. Google will be tomorrow. Can it retest 230? Yeah, maybe NQ goes 230. But I look, I still say that, yeah, that's why we're pausing. You got two patterns here, from pre-market like this, and that's what we talked about this morning. The shark and then the retest, but in the face of two patterns, what does it do? It prints a bullish pattern with a dot, sends it right back to the zone. So I expect, this will work itself out. And then for the week above 235, you're gone. I mean, again, from above 235, there's nothing. There's probably some other 1618 extension where, where we're already above 25,000 guys. I think what will surprise everybody is how quickly this makes it from 25 to 26. Almost a bypass, in my opinion. We're already 25 too. I go into 26,000 above that hop level, could happen within like 2 or 3 weeks and continue to play. I just that's my bias. I mean, you could short for as a day trade or whatever. I tried this morning, caught a little runner, but got out, much earlier than I really should have. But because I'm not trusting it, because every kind of dip is just getting picked up. I'll have some other ones. I went through a whole bunch of these. Like I said, let me put together a list. But the things that are going crazy still should follow. Like I said as well, the qubits. There you go, up another buck 20. Rigetti. Rigetti's up another 50. I've got calls on that. I got the 43s and the 47s. SMCI, Tesla, Taiwan Semi. Told you guys, just still, I'm never selling. Taiwan Semi, I'm not selling. 303. One now at 1.2 trillion. That was up 11 today. It's just going to keep going. And then there's others. Some of these others. Let's serve them up and put it together on the Discord thread. There's and the solar. We didn't even talk about solar. Solar's a buy. Keep riding it. All right, guys. Thanks. There's and again Palantir. Palantir is a $427 billion company. Guys, that's going to be a $1 trillion company. I know it's overbought, overvalued, over everything. It's going to a trillion. That's more than a double. Where at that point the stock is probably like 425, 450 a share. Yeah. So still plenty of time on this stuff. 5 minute, 1 hour, and if we could get some daily stuff, I mean, yeah. Look, there's the shark, the 50 for or bat. I thought that was a shark. Bat type 1. So maybe we get 169, 4 hour. but use the bearish patterns as much as the bullish. But we're just looking for type 1 reactions and keep go. Yeah, in fact, that's one of the stronger moves, like that, and then explode back up. So like next buy point, minimum like 170. And that's how we're going to have to just do it. Have a quality list, wait for pullbacks, and just keep adding into there. Yeah, NASDAQ right at 200. Yeah, same deal. You got it. I'm out of here too. I'm going to go get some lunch. I'll be back in Discord in about an hour. Thanks, everybody. Yep. Peace.